what you are doing, what you're offering for people, is it like a teaching? Can you put it in words? What's the sense of it?
I give it a try. So it's actually not really a teaching, it's more a pointing to what we self can see and experience, and where we often, out of habit, don't really look at. So for example, we as humans, we have learned to be aware of our experiences and just exclude the awareness itself, that what is aware. And in my meetings, I try to point as often as possible to that what is aware, to just include it in the experience. So I wouldn't say it is a teaching, it's a pointing. Yes.
But this means that there is all the time awareness, even if I'm in my thoughts, thinking and...
Yes, awareness is all the time here. Yeah? That what you can notice right now. Yeah? And I would say awareness is a name which can confuse our mind. So I would say that what is aware now of this talking here is here right now. Yeah? You can't deny it. And just to look how actually is that what is aware. To bring the attention there, just to bring the attention there, that awareness or that what is aware, yourself, is always here.
To do this, I have to focus on that. Is it like a focusing?
It's not actually a have to. It looks in the beginning maybe like it's a have to, or it is an effort, because we are not used to it. But the focus or the attention, it is moving all the time. Yeah. For example, it can move to your foot and to your leg and to your shoulder and to your head and to the camera and to the window. So the attention mostly moves to the things that are appearing, to the objects or to the experiences. And my question always is, what is aware about this? Or who is aware? Or how is that what is aware? So it's just an invitation to bring your attention to the absolute, to where you find peace and silence. And if peace and silence is your interest, this invitation is a nice invitation. If it is not your interest, if your interest is to have a nice life or whatever, then it might be boring to be with your attention at peace and silence. So it depends what the people that come to me really want. And often I ask them, what do you want? And if they say, yeah, I want to be at peace, then I can point there. Then it's interesting for them. But if we want to go there because we want to escape an experience, yeah, then it's an effort. That's true. But now, here, you can notice that awareness is here, which is no effort. Yeah? Or is it an effort for you? How do you feel?
No.
No, it's not an effort. Yeah? So it's just pointing to the obvious. But we often exclude that. Yeah? Then where we have our problems in life is when we repeat the past. And And somehow in this way we exclude awareness itself. And we try to change the past, and that's a difficulty. That's not possible.
So this awareness is only possible to feel in the moment.
You can't even feel it. But it can come to it can come to your awareness, that there is consciousness or awareness, and in my experience, and this experience I have with many people that come to my meetings, if the attention comes there, something gets peaceful, something gets soft, and something gets at peace, or comes to peace, and the search for better experience stops. So you can see now that awareness also is there in the past and in the future. But if you talk about the past and you want to change the past, you forget about awareness. So actually what is the past and the future? It's just a thought which happens here right now. So everything happens, of course, here and now.
And this awareness in the moment, is it what some teacher calls the I am? Just to feel that I am in the moment?
Yeah. I don't know. So this is a question actually you have to ask the other teachers. I only can say how it is for me. Here is a knowing of existence. And I could say that I exist. At least I can't deny it. So when I'm look or investigating who is aware of the colors, of the forms, then the answer is I am aware of it. So I am. This is the I amness. Awareness itself, or consciousness itself, is somehow separate from it. It has nothing to do with movements. And in the absolute, that's what I am. This consciousness which is untouched by every movement that is happening here. So then there is a relative thing. So I can say I am Gaia, but I know it's not true. So then an awakening can happen. I can see, no, it's not. I'm not Gaia. I am something that is experiencing here, something that is aware, and to look, what is that? Awareness itself. So when this investigation happens, a beautiful peace is arising immediately, and the absolute self I would say we as humans, or our souls, or whatever that is, they try all their lifetime to merge with the absolute, to be the absolute, to be without any separation. And if this happens, I would call this is enlightenment, and then there's no need actually to be here on earth to make experiences.
When the people are coming to you, to your meeting, you see yourself playing a special role there, the role of a teacher, or how do you see what's happening there?
Yeah, there is a role played. So I would say Gaia is somehow, the leader is a funny word, but yeah, I don't know how to really express it in English. The one who leads this workshop or this evening or the satsang. And I'm just sharing what I know, what I found out in my search for enlightenment. And so people that come to me, they are also seeking enlightenment or peace, and have the feeling they need to do something. So so there is the role. He is the one who knows how to come to peace, and there's the role, the one who doesn't know and needs this guy to speak about it. So we speak about it, and suddenly we see that there are just patterns running. So I would say Gaia is a bunch of patterns, and also the people that are coming is a bunch of patterns, and suddenly there is seen that something is aware of these patterns. So then the attention can go to that what is aware. And then there is no role anymore. Or the roles are still played, but there is no identification with it. Then suddenly there is a seeing this role which is played there. It's not me. It's happening by circumstantial evidences somehow. And nobody is doing it. There is no doer anymore. And you can say, actually, there will be, with luck, there will be seen that there never was a doer. And suddenly then a lot of heavy load can fall off. The load of guilt, or even the load of fear can fall off.
Makes it different if people coming only once to see you, or if people coming very often, regular to your meetings?
Yes, there is a difference. People that come more often and get used to my language, for them something transforms easier in their lives. People that come once or twice a year, they can see that they not are the body-mind system, but because our habits are so strong, there can be the seeing, but immediately it goes back to the habit. I am the doer, I have to do something, I am wrong, and So, yeah, I see there is for people that come more often and meditate or investigate in this kind I'm inviting to, for them it's happening a deeper experience.
You are offering also satsang live in internet.
Yes.
And the people can also ask questions from their home or wherever they are staying. And so it doesn't need that you are at the same place like the person you are speaking with.
No, it's not possible. For example, yesterday I got a telephone call from the USA, and we just spoke maybe about 5 minutes, and suddenly this lady was at peace again and could relax again. And said, thank you, now I know what I know again. But my attention was just gone. And it needs sometimes only a little hint, and the attention comes back home. So it's not necessary. Also people report when they are in Greece and I'm in Germany, that they have suddenly in Greece a feeling, wow, the silence is coming. Just when they see my face on their screen. So you can say this form is just a reminder, and it has nothing to do with this form. Yeah? So Gaia doesn't have any special powers or whatever. But people have the interest, and they come to Gaia, and suddenly Gaia is for them like a reference point to bring the attention back home. For some people it might be different. Me, for example, or my person, for example, I like to be very close to my guru, because in his aura, or when our nervous system connected close by, for me it was much better, for my person. But I can't compare actually, because in this time when I was with my guru, there was not the possibility to have live satsangs. Yeah. And so I don't even know if this is true now what I was saying, but I felt this system prefer to be close to the other nervous system to have the quick download.
How is it on your side when, for example, with this telephone call, or when you are answering question in live satsang from somebody who is not at the same place? Do you speak then out of the blue, or you feel a connection with the person? How you feel inside when you're doing like this?
It's always different, but mostly I can tune into this person and feel, and sometimes I know the persons also from the past, so then it's even easier to tune in. And sometimes I also can see the questions are just, there's not the sincere interest behind it, so sometimes I can feel that. And then the conversation is, mostly I keep it short, because it's just stays on an intellectual level, and it's not so interesting for everybody who is with it. So, but if I feel so there is a really investigation now happening on the other side of the camera, then it's wonderful. Then we can go very deep also, even if we are thousands of miles separate from each other. Because our nervous systems actually are separate. Huh? Our nervous system is connected with all the entire universe. So, but often people, for example, in the internet, it happens sometimes because they can show up without that people know who's showing up. They can be anonym somehow. I don't know if it's the right word. And then sometimes they ask questions and they wouldn't dare to ask them in the satsang, yeah? Because then they are seen by the people and so they play out their game when they are not seen. So sometimes I can feel that very quick, and if I see there is no sincerity behind the question, I stop it very quickly.
You mentioned your guru. Which person was this? And
it was or is Isaac Shapiro. He is. There was a time where I was looking for enlightenment, because my life actually was fantastic. And from the outer circumstances, I lived on a beautiful island, sunshine, an ocean, and all that stuff. But something was missing for me. I wasn't really happy. Even if I thought I should be happy from all the circumstances. And then people told me, what you are looking for is enlightenment. And without knowing what it was, I was looking and searching for it, and was looking for the people that seemed to be enlightened. And one of these persons also was Isaac. And Isaac, he gave me in our first or in our second meeting a very important question for me, and asked, what is enlightenment? What are you really looking for? And then I could see that I don't know what enlightenment is, but it must be something which is not here right now. And he said, but how can you find enlightenment if you don't know what it is? And that was a great question. It brought me there to look, what do I really want? What is it what I want? Because enlightenment was so, I didn't know what it was. So actually then I could see what I want is peace. And later then I could tell him what I want. And then he could point my attention there. And I could see, wow, that's here already. That's me. And the other teachers I met before, the other enlightened ones, couldn't point that out for me. They had looked like as if I can find peace only through strong effort and somewhere in the future, and that wasn't attractive for me. So, but what I can see now and today is that it wasn't Isaac actually. Isaac asked that question. I could hear the question, I could take it in and meditate with it, and it was not Isaac's grace and not my grace, it was grace itself, that the question could be really heard and some investigation was happening. So I'm very grateful to Isaac that he gave this question to me, and which started an investigation which didn't stop until now. So it is still going on. And so I would say that is that what a guru should do to bring your attention there where you can see the light or where you can be happy, and to do it now.
Must the time be right to find a guru or to be found by a guru?
It looks like that, yeah. It looks like that. Because I see also many people that have been with Isaac before I met him the first time. And recently I was visiting Isaac again in his satsang, and these people were still sitting there and were still asking the question where I was thinking, gosh, why don't they listen to what Isaac is pointing to, huh? And they are sitting there for many years and did many retreats, and so I think it's just grace there when this listening is happening and the investigation is happening, and it must be somehow the right time or the right space that it happens. There might be different gurus, but for the kind how, for example, Isaac is working and me, or I am working, I just can find if there is the grace that supports what wants to be seen. There might be gurus or teachers that have certain powers and can also, without, if it is the right time and the right moment, through their power give you some information. But I think that's very rare.
You travel a lot. You have been to very different parts of the world, like America and India. Is the experience of the grace in some way different in different places of the world for you?
Grace is everywhere the same. Awareness is everywhere the same. It doesn't matter if we are in India or in USA or even in Germany. So what I see that different society patterns support or can support more that interests, and other society patterns less. So in India, for example, it is very easy already with the society patterns to just be. In Germany, for example, it's not so easy from the society pattern to just be. We Germans are trained to become something, to become very good. And in India, through the whole society there, it's much easier to be, because there are so many people that are just sitting there and meditating. They are not in Germany, for example. These people are somehow pushed out of the society a bit. They are the losers somehow, and in India they are the winners. They are the great ones. They get acknowledgement, and so that the Indian mentality allows you much more to just be and investigate. And in Germany often it's not so much used to just be and investigate. We often, as Germans, we have to reach perfection.
And in America, in the USA?
In America, I've seen that was a nice experience. The people are really interested in freedom, and they have the big Liberty statue. So liberty or freedom is in the American spirit very strong. And what I experienced in the satsang in the USA, that these people came with their attention very quick to the essence, and they don't have to deal so much with guilt and stuff, even if they could feel guilty killing the Indians and all that stuff. But here, the guilt from the Second World War in Germany is very strong, still very present, and in America it isn't like that. So but also the Americans, most of the spiritual people, are not happy with what happens in USA, or not actually what happens in USA, but what happens through the USA, outside of the USA. So there's also a strong interest in being free. And you can see the most famous satsang teachers come from USA, like Gangaji or Eckhart Tolle. I mean, he was born in Germany, but he grew up in the USA or Canada. Brandon Bass, Byron Katie, Samapan is American. Isaac has an American background, but the people that attract thousands of people again, these are the Indians again. Like Amaji, she has in her meetings 5,000, 6,000 or 8,000 people, and I've seen also some Indian masters in the USA. They have big crowds of people. And what in USA, what is very supportive is they are much more relaxed as in Germany. So I noticed when I came back from USA and that here everything is very quick and very narrow. Also even in the traffic. And in the USA everything is wide and large, and that's the same like the awareness itself. It's also very wide and large.
Mousy,
Komm mal hier. Komm zu mir. Oh, richtig schmutzig. Katzen sind tolle Gurus. Danke. Darshan von der Katze gekriegt.
The understanding of freedom in America in the common sense is not the understanding of freedom from mind, or it's more the freedom for have a lot of possibilities, or
yes, also what I could see, the Americans, they don't like so much to be guided by the government. So here in Germany we give a lot of responsibility to the government, and they should say how it should work here. And in USA the people go for themselves somehow, and so there are nearly no rules. It's people are so from this point of view much more open. Yeah? They accept much more. But the Americans somehow, they see a freedom that they can decide about their lifestyle and about the form of their houses and their cars and so on. Yes, but also there people can see, even this doesn't make me happy. So they also are looking for the freedom or the peace that is not dependent on circumstances. And that's what we all want, yeah? To be free. It doesn't matter if we are in Germany, in India, or in Saudi Arabia or whatever. To be free however the circumstances are. So we can see the only thing, and it is not a thing, but we have to label it somehow. The only thing that is really free is awareness, because it doesn't exclude anything, it doesn't go away if terrible things are happening. It's just free and here and unconditional. So awareness itself is the unconditional love. And this is what I am.